Thank you for the introduction, and I'm very happy to be here. I am an Oceanside resident as well. I've been here for in Oceanside for 20 years, so you are my community. I'm happy to be here. Unlike the DA, I was a mediocre attorney, so I'm not going to have a timer in front of me, and someone will probably pull me off with a hook because I tend to ramble. So I have a couple things I want to start out with, like the advice first, right? Like, I've been working this elder fraud stuff for about 4 years, and I'm very, very passionate about it. And it's until you sit down with a Vietnam veteran that has spent his whole life tucking money away and then has lost everything, until you hear those stories, like it doesn't hit home how personal this is to you, right? So it's personal to me. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm happy to be here, right? So I lead the Elder Justice Task Force. We do a couple things, outreach like this. So we try to educate and tell you kind of the latest and greatest to help protect yourself. We go out and catch bad guys, right? I have my sheriff and Oceanside buddies over there, and we go out and catch these guys that are doing these bad things. We also spend a lot of effort trying to recoup victim funds, right? We put a lot of effort into pulling back money from the bad guys to return it to the victims. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of what the task force does. But part of that, all the reporting from all of these types of cases in San Diego County comes to one place, right? So we're able to see the latest and greatest. And what I need to tell you is there is a tsunami of fraud hitting your population, your demographic, on a daily basis. It is nonstop, okay? And so while there's multiple different scams out there, some are more prevalent than others, but they all have the same exact red flags, okay? So like, this is what I want to start and kind of end with, right? Here are the red flags. There is always an urgency to act, okay? Like, you need to act right now because something bad is going to happen, okay? There is always isolation from your family, friends, or others. You can't tell your wife, your husband, your daughter, your son this because input your own reason. That always happens. And then the third is the biggest red flag is they're going to ask you to move your money from where it currently is to someplace else you had nowhere intended to send it, right? Those are the three things that are common in all of these. And looking around, I'm going to take a guess. There is more than decades of life experience in this room, right? And when you feel something that is not right in your stomach, that is when you take the advice that's on the DA's video, right? Stop. You hang up the phone, you turn off the computer, and then you tell someone, right? Use your community and your family as a sounding board, right? This did not feel right to me, and I want to run it by you. It's great advice because I will tell you the scams keep changing. As fast as we're getting them identified, they're creating new ones. All of them have those themes, right? They're going to ask you to act right now. Don't tell anybody about this, and move your money from where it's at to where I tell you. Those are the three things, okay? So elder fraud, all this is tricks to have you part with your money, right? And it's limited only by the imagination of the bad guys. If there's something new in the news that is the latest and greatest, they will use that as the reason to have you part with your money, okay? Generally speaking, all of these types of cases have overseas bad actors. The bad guys that you're talking to or interacting with, they are overseas, and they have US-based money laundering networks. Like, they're people that are moving money from here back overseas. So like, that's generally how these are operated, is you have the people conducting the fraud telling you the lies to part with your money that are overseas, and then the network to move your money is generally spread out throughout the United States. Make no mistake, it is your demographic that is getting targeted for a variety of reasons. I mean, the numbers say it all. You guys are being targeted. You're the largest impacted demographic by way of the number of victims and the loss amount, okay? There's reasons for that, right? You all have spent a life accumulating a nest egg. I will venture to say most people here in this audience have more in their savings account than my 20-year-old daughter. Like, I am certain of it. So, like, no reason to target her. She has nothing to give. But they also prey off of, like, people start losing family members, husbands and wife. They will prey off the loneliness and vulnerability there. And they will also exploit the lack of your familiarity with tech, with your cell phones, with your computers. And so those are kind of reasons that demographic is targeted. I always ask this question. Who knows what FBI IC3 is? Raise your hand if you know what that is.
I just read it on there.
Okay, so I saw 4 hands.
What was the question?
The question was, can you raise your hand if you know what FBI IC3 is? The IC3 Complaint Center. So we have about a handful of people that know what that is, okay? I asked that question because what you're looking at over here is data, is numbers from scam victims 60 and above that's been reported FBI IC3, okay? And so on the right side, those green bars, that's the number of dollar loss nationwide in the United States, which we're getting close to $8 billion in 2025. $8 billion nationwide reported FBI IC3. The blue line tracking, that's the number of victims. So everything's going in the wrong direction, right? The loss amounts are getting much, much higher over time, and the victim count is getting much, much higher. Now, why I asked who knows what FBI IC3 is, and 4 people raised their hand, that means that's capturing a very small percentage of the actual problem, right? So when Assemblywoman Davies talked about the loss amounts in California, those numbers are pulled from FBI IC3 data. That chart's pulled from what's reported into the FBI. So those numbers are not a fair representation of the scope of the problem. So FBI IC3 is our Internet Complaint Center, which is a mechanism by which the public can make complaints to the FBI about this type of thing. And I'll be the first to admit the FBI does a very poor job of advertising that, right? And I bring that up because the scope of the problem is much bigger than what we're capturing and what we're seeing. Okay, so we have actually at our back table, we have pamphlets about IC3 and how to access it and what to report there at the table in the back, okay? So we're gonna hit a couple trends, right? Generally speaking, all scams these days are layered. And what I mean by that is you're getting 2 or more scams thrown at you at once that feed into each other. And they're generally fall into a dramatic life event, some sort of social relationship, or advance payment, okay? Like those are the themes. But like the dramatic life event is something where you're either going to lose money or gain money really quick because something bad or something really good happened, right? Either your grandchild just got arrested and is in jail and they need bail money, bad, or you just won the lottery but you need to pay some money, good, right? Social relationships, like there's a lot of the dating sites or social media sites will have individuals in there looking to pull you in for the purpose of getting money from you, right? A lot of these romance type scams will have an investment scam layered into it, right? A lot of the tech support scams, right? Like bad, your computer is ready to blow up. It's going to roll right into a government impersonation scam. The government's looking at you because they found something bad on your computer, right? They're layering the scams on top of each other. Jacking you up. Oh, a couple more. Okay, so because our task force is getting all of the reporting from San Diego County at pumping into one place where I'm able to tell you, like, these are the things that are most prevalent right now, okay? So there's a lot of spoofing and phishing going on, and I'll explain what that is. Spoofing is where there's a phone call or an email to you that appears to be from a legitimate service that you have, right? Like a phone call from Chase Bank, and you bank at Chase Bank, and the phone looks like Chase Bank is calling you. Or a text message from Wells Fargo, and you bank at Wells Fargo, and it appears to be Wells Fargo contacting you, right? That's spoofing. The phishing is when they get you in to click that link because they're representing themselves to be your bank, they're getting personal information about you, right? They're asking for bank account numbers, they're asking for personal identifying information. So this is happening all the time, and they're generally leading, this spoofing and phishing is leading into generally a banking scam or a government impersonation scam, right? And the banking scam is, hey, there's fraud on your account. Did you just buy $332 at a Walmart in Alabama? And the answer is going to be no. They're like, oh boy, there's lots of trouble. We need to move your money, right? That's the gist of a banking scam. Or they're going to introduce a government impersonation scam. Well, it starts without the bank contacts you. You believe it to be the real bank. A fraud investigator is going to transfer you to a purported government employee because it looks like there's money laundering going on in your account, right? So these scams are layered and on top of each other. The phishing, spoofing leading into kind of a banking or government impersonation scam, that's the largest number of victims. Those are getting pushed out to everybody, right? They're seeing this all the time. The investment scams result in the largest loss amount, okay? And these are generally crypto investment scams, and they almost always start from a romance scam, right? Like there's back and forth interaction with someone online that you've met online, and they will invest weeks and months building up the trust for you, where you feel very comfortable with that person. And then they're going to introduce the fact that they are making a lot of money in some sort of investment platform and offer you the opportunity to get in on that, right? And they're very, very sophisticated. They have fake applications that you can download to your phone, and they look and feel just like investment account applications. And they're going to ask for a small investment up front. And something that no one's going to be scared of losing if they lose it. A couple $100, maybe a couple $1,000, and that little fake application is going to keep going up like, boy, I'm killing it. I am making a ton of money, right? They may even let you pull out a little bit of your money on the front end to give you a good feel that, hey, this is real. I'm making money. I can pull money out. Before they ask you for a very large investment, they're going to give you a very short-term opportunity to put a lot of money in to make a lot of money. And then you will not hear from them again. But you will hear, after you've been scammed, they will circle back to you purporting to be a recovery. Like, I can recover your funds that you invest into crypto, right? And for $10,000, we will trace it, and we will freeze it, and we will work with law enforcement to return it. So that's what I mean by that. They will layer these scams one on top of the other. So some of the other scams, and we'll go through it. We talked about both those. We'll stop here. Jack just got done talking to you about the tech support scam, right? And this is generally the way in the door. This happens a lot. This is the way for the bad guy to get in touch with you and get you on the phone, right? And so how these generally start is bad guys are sending links to places you all surf the internet. And when you're clicking on these links, they're going to get diverted to these pop-ups. The whole purpose of the pop-up is just to get you on the phone with the bad guy, right? And here's how these go. We'll go ahead and start playing one. This is the beginning of an actual victim on the call. I'm not sure it'll play.
Thank you for calling support. My name is Teddy. How may I help you?
Yes, I can't get into my Windows. It says Windows Defender Security Center.
Sorry, didn't hear that. Can you read that whole message to me? What exactly you say?
Access to this PC has been blocked for security reasons. And call Windows Support 1-888-682-6276.
You shouldn't call that number. Okay, no one write that number down. Okay, so that's how that starts. We've, through legal process, we've collected hundreds of thousands of these calls, right, from victims, and they last 45 minutes to an hour each one. And what's going to happen, I only have 25 minutes, and I can't play the whole hour call, but what's going to happen is they're going to ask for, they're going to ask to get remote access to their computer to fix it, right? And they're going to walk you through how to do that. Then they're in your computer, they can control it, right? They're going to ask you to open up your bank accounts to make sure the money hasn't moved from A to B, right? Which you're going to do because you think that they're going to tell you that there's a problem with your computer and someone's accessed your account. They will do generally fix your computer, but they're going to charge you a fee for it, right? And you'll give them your credit card and debit card in order to pay that fee. And then they're going to rift into some sort of, your accounts are compromised, we need to move your money, or we found child porn on your computer and you got to pay a fine, right? Like something along those lines. But it keeps coming. Jack gave you the recipe, just turn off your computer. When you get that pop-up, just turn it off. Okay, Jack? So I'm going to turn it over to Austin here. This is going to talk about just the way the money comes, the way the bad guys are getting the money. And it's every way.
Hello. Yeah, we're going to go through the methods of payment. So, I'm sorry, you can't hear me. We're going to go through the methods of payment for the different scams that we come across. So there's cash pickups, which is a courier pickup, where the victim has somebody come to their house and pick up money from them. Like the lady in the video said she packaged the money in a box. That's a cash pickup. The same thing with gold pickups, but the medium is changed where they have the victim go to a gold bullion store locally in town, purchase gold, then they package up that gold and then put it in a shoebox and give it to some guy that comes to their house. Bitcoin ATMs. We don't have that problem out here in San Diego anymore. They moved all those. Is that accurate? It's tapering down. Bitcoin ATMs are a huge issue. Right now, they only accept $1,000 a day. That was a big legislative thing or a move to having these companies limit their ability to collect $100,000 a day from any one transaction. So they're still here. They're still out there. Don't use them. If you don't have Bitcoin, you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, don't use it. Stay away from it, please. Gift cards. Gift cards are the bane of my existence. Gift card scams involve that method of payment where they have the victim go to a store or go to multiple stores throughout the county, and they run these victims 8 hours a day, in one day, to go to multiple stores to pick up gift cards as a form of payment to that suspect or that scammer. The problem for us in law enforcement is oftentimes those gift cards are not able to be tracked, So I can't figure out who the bad guy is because they sell that information on a legitimate site that doesn't collect know your customer information. It's a whole different thing. Gift cards are garbage too. Don't do it unless you're giving them to your grandson or your daughter or whatever. That's different. Peer-to-peer, Zelle, Zelle and Cash App transfers. So if on your banking applications that you have on your phones, there's the ability to pay somebody from me to you. Right now, I can deliver $200 to you if you ask me to. All I need is your code to say, hey, here's your money that I owe you, and you know what it's there for. If you're doing that to somebody you don't know, that's red flag, big red flag. Wire transfers are from your bank account to another bank account, often to another victim that is a mule for that money to move it down the line to the suspect ultimately. If you don't know where you're sending your money, well, here's how that works. I'm getting scammed by somebody. This guy's name is John Smith. He says, hey, I need you to pay me this money because of whatever the scam is. I go, okay, cool. He says, okay, wire that money to Arizona Builders Incorporated. I go, well, why does John Smith need me to send money to Arizona Builders Incorporated? Well, that's another scam, or excuse me, another account owned by either the scam group or another victim who's going to forward that money off in a different medium, either through crypto or another wire or a cash pickup. Like I said, like Mike said, these scams are often layered to incorporate a whole network of people that take money from multiple victims at a time. Cashier's checks is the same thing, but different with cashier's checks is those are being mailed across state lines to different people who are being scammed again, either during a romance scam. That victim in Minnesota says, the scammer tells that victim in Minnesota to say, hey, you're going to receive a check from Jan Jones in San Diego. Expect it. It's from me, though. She's just my associate. Well, Jan Jones is a victim, as is the lady in Minnesota, because she's going to forward that money off, and now she's part of this scam scheme. And technically a suspect, but we won't get into that. Next slide, please. Okay. We can't say this enough with people. Stop, hang up, tell someone. Stop, hang up, and tell someone. If you're getting scammed, if you believe something is wrong, stop what you're doing, hang up the phone, tell anybody, your neighbor, your sister, your son, your clergyman, whoever. Tell somebody. You can call the cops. You can ask anybody any questions you'd like, all right? That's a huge message, and it's very simple. It's straightforward to the point. Tell somebody about what's going on if you feel that it's not up to snuff, okay? Next, please. Immediate actions. You can always go to your local bank branch. If you have a question about what this guy on the phone is telling you because he's part of a Bank of America fraud and you're a Bank of America customer, cool, fraud guy on the phone, I'm going to go talk to this guy at the bank physically. I'm going to run down to the bank and say, hey, here's what I got going on. That bank teller will most often tell you that you are a victim to a scam. Don't do what you're doing. IC3 complaints, www.ic3.gov. That's where you can do all your, file your complaint center with the FBI. You can contact your major credit bureaus. We have pamphlets and information at the tables in the back. Fraud alerts on your credit reports, and everything else you see here is things you can do, okay? Next slide, please. This is what the IC3 Complaint Center looks like. The website is where you go. You're going to hit that red button at the bottom and start filling out the information. It's very user-friendly. Next slide, please. And here's a list of resources for you. Bottom line, you can always call the sheriff's department or your local agency where you live. Okay? You can ask questions to anybody on the phone. The officer or deputy will call you. You can talk to your bank. You can call a friend. You can call a family member as your sounding board. And that's all I have for right now. Yeah. All right.